What's going on with these immigration operations? How are they conducted? When did they start? Who are they arresting? The Sheriff's Office had been claiming that this enforcement was also tied to cracking down on drug trafficking, potentially even catching terrorists. Late 2007, in October and November, the Sheriff's Office had started launching these large-scale crackdowns on day laborers. A majority of its sweeps and other high-profile operations in largely Hispanic communities without any evidence of criminal activity in advance. And these were no regular operations. They were, in some cases, hundreds of deputies and volunteer members of the sheriff's posse stopping virtually every vehicle on the road and questioning people about their legal residency status, attracting quite a bit of attention. I had done a ride-along with the human smuggling unit in early January of '08. Up near Wickenburg where we were driving, the van was just staying in its lane, driving the speed limit. But the detective that I was with was certain that it had illegal immigrants, so he ultimately turned on his brights and swerved into the left-hand lane, and then swerved back, and he cast his high beams on the back of the vehicle. And you could just see immediately just this whole cascade of human shadows. Every corner of that van was filled with people. And he immediately switched on his emergency lights to pull over the vehicle. And he said, "Failure to signal," and turned to me and said, "You saw that." And they hadn't switched lanes, so I didn't see any need for them to signal. The superior of the detective I was with was calling in the basic details of the night's operations, and the question had come, what was the probable cause for the stop? And so the sergeant shouted to the detective, what was your PC on that? And the sergeant joked into the phone that, hold on for a second, he's trying to figure out what to make up. And with me sitting there writing down every word they were saying, it was they were pretty relaxed, and he was joking. He was joking, but ultimately, I didn't see the probable cause that they cited. We were able to find out that 30% of the probable causes for traffic stops were related to license plate issues. There was some speeding and stuff, but a lot of them were just ticky-tack things that, is anybody going to check to see if it's actually true? Or there's going to be things like, failure to signal, where if there isn't a reporter sitting next to the detective, there's no one to say, "I didn't see that." At the same time as that was happening, these large-scale operations, it came out that the sheriff's office was out of money. For Arpaio, if he's been pushing policy, it's usually to get money for the sheriff's office. Much of the transformation they undertook and the partnership that they put together with the federal government was to get access to millions and millions of dollars. Now, that didn't ultimately work out for them, but the intention was a cash grab. News reports came out that they couldn't afford to deliver inmates to their court dates anymore, and they were having to close all these satellite booking stations, which is really impacting the more rural police departments. It was clear to us that something significant was going on inside, and we didn't understand it. We started going to the contract cities that they serve and pulling records from there, and just contacting people in the law enforcement community saying, "What are you hearing about the sheriff's office performance in its core communities?" In the course of those interviews, we got a tip that there were problems in the town of El Mirage. At bare minimum, 30 violent crime cases, a dozen of those sex assaults, confirmed as sex assaults, were not investigated, were opened and closed without any measure of investigation being done. There was a 15-year-old girl who was raped in a ditch, reported it promptly. She was taken to a hospital and they administered a rape kit that showed there had definitely been sex assault. The case was closed just a few days later without the sheriff's office doing anything. Once immigration enforcement had began, all of a sudden, the number of those cases that were being closed by exception, particularly sex assaults, just rocketed. It roughly doubled. There are thousands of cases, many of them violent crime cases, that we just have no idea what happened there. His pushing of policies and politics is usually to serve a particular end that benefits his office.